Iran's military landscape entered a new chapter this week with the confirmed arrival of Russian-made MiG-29 fighter jets, a development that has stirred both anticipation and anxiety across the Middle East and beyond. The announcement, made by Iranian defense officials in Tehran, was accompanied by carefully choreographed images of the jets being inspected and readied for deployment, signaling that the country's long-awaited modernization of its air force is finally taking shape. The delivery, which experts suggest involves multiple units, underscores a strategic partnership between Moscow and Tehran that has grown increasingly close as both countries face heightened international isolation and sanctions. The MiG-29 is widely regarded as one of the most reliable and versatile fighter aircraft of the late Cold War era. Designed by the Soviet Union to counter American aircraft such as the F-15 and F-16, the jet is capable of achieving speeds up to Mach 2.25 and can operate effectively in both air-to-air combat and ground attack missions. Iran's Air Force, which for decades has been hampered by an aging fleet of US-built F-14 Tomcats, F-4 Phantoms, and F-5 Tigers acquired prior to the 1979 revolution, has long sought to revitalize its capabilities. The arrival of the MiG-29 represents not only a leap in technological capability but also a morale boost for Iran's military establishment, which has repeatedly stressed the need for self-reliance in defense. The geopolitical reverberations of this deal are profound. For Tehran, the acquisition enhances its deterrence posture at a time of ongoing regional rivalries, particularly with Israel and Saudi Arabia, both of which maintain advanced air forces with U.S. support. Analysts warn that the arrival of these aircraft could shift the regional balance of power, making adversaries reconsider their strategies. Israel, for example, which has conducted numerous air operations in Syria targeting Iranian-linked assets, may now face new challenges if Iran deploys MiG-29s to forward bases or integrates them into its broader regional strategy. Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states, already wary of Iran's influence, may see the deal as a signal to accelerate their own defense acquisitions. Russia's role in supplying the jets highlights a growing defiance of Western sanctions and diplomatic pressure. Moscow, increasingly cut off from Western markets following its own geopolitical clashes, has found in Iran not just a buyer for its military hardware but also a partner with overlapping strategic objectives. The arms transfer signals Moscow's intent to deepen defense cooperation and potentially expand future sales to include more sophisticated aircraft, drones, or advanced air defense systems. By equipping Iran with such assets, Russia also asserts itself as a critical player in shaping the security architecture of the Middle East. Western officials and security analysts, however, are sounding alarms. The U.S. State Department has expressed concern that these deliveries may embolden Tehran in its regional activities, from support for Hezbollah in Lebanon to backing of groups in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. There are fears that enhanced Iranian air capabilities could complicate U.S. and allied military operations in the region, forcing a recalibration of existing strategies. Some experts also caution that the move risks igniting a new arms race in the Middle East, as Iran's rivals seek to counter its bolstered air force with additional purchases of cutting-edge Western hardware. Inside Iran, the government has framed the arrival of the MiG-29s as a symbol of resilience in the face of international isolation. State media outlets broadcast images of the jets in formation, accompanied by commentary praising Iran's defense establishment for overcoming decades of sanctions to achieve strategic self-sufficiency. While Iran's domestic defense industry has made progress in producing drones and missile systems, it has lagged in developing advanced fighter jets, making the Russian delivery a highly symbolic and practical boost. Public ceremonies and military parades featuring the jets are expected in the coming weeks, aimed at reinforcing national pride and projecting an image of strength to both allies and adversaries. The timing of the delivery is also significant. With regional tensions simmering, from maritime confrontations in the Persian Gulf to ongoing instability in Syria and Iraq, the arrival of advanced combat aircraft could embolden Tehran to adopt a more assertive posture. At the same time, the presence of MiG-29s introduces new complexities for military planners across the region. Questions remain about how quickly Iran's pilots can be trained to operate the aircraft at peak efficiency, how seamlessly they can be integrated into existing defense structures, and whether spare parts and maintenance agreements with Russia will ensure long-term operational sustainability. For now, what is clear is that the arrival of the Russian MiG-29s in Iran marks a significant milestone not only for Tehran's military modernization but also for the shifting alignments of global geopolitics. It reflects the erosion of traditional Western dominance in the Middle East's defense market and the rise of alternative partnerships that could reshape the region's future. Whether the jets serve primarily as a deterrent or are deployed in active operations will depend on how regional rivalries evolve in the coming months. Yet the message behind the delivery is unmistakable. Iran, backed by Russian support, intends to remain a formidable player in the Middle East strategic equation, no matter the cost.